Something special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Yeah, he had something coming to him, man. He just ain't know who he was playing with, obviously, because one thing I never tolerated the whole time I was doing time, man, be it my wife, my kids, my mother, my sister, my brother, my cousin, whoever it was that came to see me, if you tried to handle them like you was trying to handle me and the rest of these convicts back here, and you try to impose that on my family, I had zero tolerance for that, man. Zero tolerance for that. And whatever the cost or what I had to pay for whatever I had to do, then I was willing to pay. And especially when you talking about my wife, man, and one of these clown COs, and you trying to, you know, fix yourself where you can get in a position where you can say something to her so you can try to cut into her. Oh, man, Man, my wife was begging me, don't say nothing to him, don't worry about it. I straightened him, I told him this, I was like, okay, all right, yeah, you okay. But all the time in my mind, I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him. So I set it up in my mind. I knew in the morning times when it won't, on weekends, he worked the visiting room. But on regular days, he worked the kitchen. In the morning when we go to breakfast, he be in one of the chow halls, either the left or the right, but he in one of them. So, man, I got it in my mind, man, he playing with the wrong one. I had bad intentions for him, trust me. Bad intentions, because I knew that whatever I did to him, I was going to pay for. Basically, you gonna probably get in more trouble or just as much for killing an inmate than you will for assaulting an officer. That's how much value they placed on them in there. You will get in more trouble for assaulting an officer than you would for actually killing the inmate. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, you going to court for both of them. They taking you to court on street court and giving you some more time. That's guaranteed. So you have to factor that in. That's what gives a lot of them the hot that they got, because they know dudes don't want to take that risk. But it's certain boundaries that you can cross where a dude is going to throw that out the window. And when you talk about dealing with somebody's family, messing with somebody's family, oh yeah, it's out the window for me. You know, it's out the window for me. So, like I say, I had some bad intentions for him, man. I secured that Bethlehem, and I had made it up in my mind, I'm going to pull up on him, and I'm going to pull up on him strong, the way that you pull up on any officer for any reason. That's automatically you gonna get late, you going to jail. But I was gonna pull up on him strong. I was gonna tell him what I needed to tell him, put it in his ear, and if he responded in any way possible aggressively, he was gonna get that Bethlehem, and whatever they did to me, shoot me, kill me, do whatever they was gonna do to me, that's what was gonna happen. You know, and I had it locked in. I couldn't get it out of my head. You know, I ended up, I talked to my wife that night on the phone. She kept telling me the same thing. Don't say nothing to him, whatever. I kept saying, okay. Because it ain't no need to make them worry. It ain't no need. That's the reason why you keep what's going on in prison away from your people on the street, because it ain't nothing they can do about it. And it ain't no need to put that worry on them. That's why dudes don't tell everybody on the street what's going on with them in prison. Most of the stuff that went on with me in prison, my family is finding out now from my YouTube, because I kept that stuff away from them, because it was nothing they could do about it. They could not help me. They could not make my situation better. It could only make them worry and put them in the state of mind that I was in, and I didn't want to impose that on them. So, you know, I just, man, I couldn't even sleep that night. I couldn't sleep at all. And I can remember waking up, man, we was going to breakfast. They was calling for breakfast. They was calling for chow. We had to line up, be in the line to go, you know, you had to walk the single file line going to chow. They got them people out there on the towers and everything. When you get to the kitchen, they actually got gun tower over top of the kitchen. They actually got a gun tower on the inside of the kitchen for the dudes that get to fighting in the kitchen. They get shot as well in the kitchen. And it done happened a lot since I was up there. So I'm knowing all of this. So when we going to breakfast, you got the left chow hall and the right chow hall. So we go in, I think, the right chow hall. And the way we coming is the first one to us. So we go in there to eat. When we walk in, I'm looking for him to be an officer that's in there. He not in there. So I know he got to be next door, right? So when I'm in there, man, we eating the whole thing, the whole time, all I could think about was him. All I could think about was him. So when we finish eating and we line up to leave, we going out and we got to walk by the other chow because we going all the way around to go back to our building. So when we walk into the other chow hall, we walk into the other way going back to our building, I step out of line and go to the other chow hall door. That alone could have got me shot. If they had seen me, it could have got me shot. But I was already in a fit of rage and I'm locked in. So I go to the door and I look through the window and I look and I see him. So I tap on the window and I see an inmate. So I tell the inmate, get him. He's like, who? Because he trying to duck the police. So I said, no, him, the CO, get him. So he go over to the CO and say, hey, dude, won't you? So my building and my block is still going. So now they always pass me. If any one of them or the CO turn around and see me right there, they're going to come back and ask me what's going on, probably draw the gun down on me, whatever, get me locked up. But like I say, I'm already in the zone. So the CO, he knew he was wrong. He knew what he did was foul. He turned around and he see who want him at the door. He comes to the door, get his key out, open the door, step out right where I was. When he stepped out, I was back away from him probably about 3 feet. So when he stepped out, he called by my name. He said, hold on, let me explain. When he said that, I got straight up in his chest, just like this. I said, let me tell you something, man. I say, if you ever in your life say something to my people coming in that visiting room that's unprofessional or that should not come out your mouth, I will kill you. You understand me? He said, hold on, just back up. And he tried to back up, and when he tried to back up, I got right back on him. You know what I'm saying? I said, do you understand where I'm coming from, bro? He said, yeah, man, but it won't like that. I said, I'm cussing. I said, I don't give a what you thought it was. I know what you was doing. You know what you was doing. If you do it again, I will kill you. And you think I'm playing? Make a move right now. Because I'm not playing at all, dog. I'm not playing one bit. So I'm talking so loud now and it got so aggressive. The booth over top of us that got the gun done looked out there and seen us and see as an inmate and an officer. So they pull the gun there and say, step away, back up. He said, hold on, I got it. He said, all right, back up. So I'm just looking at him. I'm dead on him. You know, and I'm saying in my mind, if he take off or he try to swing or he try to grab me, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I got that Bethlehem right on my hip, and I'm gonna pull it out, and he know what he gonna get. So he knew he was wrong, and I thinking from in retrospect, looking at his frame of mind, he didn't want it to go no further because he knew if I went to the administration for it, what he did was unprofessional. He possibly could get fired or suspended or whatever. But I won't even thinking along them lines. That would have been too nice for you to get fired and all. Nah, I won't go do that to me. That was snitching. That was just like snitching. I won't go do that. I won't try to take your job. I won't try to take your livelihood. At that point in time, I wanted to take your life because you was messing with my life. You see what I'm saying? So I won't gonna go to the people on him. So that was his last word. So he fending them off and telling them to hold up. So we sitting in there. He said, listen, I understand. I apologize. It won't happen again. I said, you understand me, bro? I said, do you really understand me? He said, yeah. So by that time, man, there's 100 police running down there. Cause the person in the tower done called the people. So they come running in there, man. It seemed like 100, but it probably was about 10, 15 of them. They surround me. Get down on the ground. Get on the ground. Don't move, all this foolishness. So I'm a little nervous because I got that Bethlehem on me. You see what I'm saying? So he telling them, hold up, we just talking. He's talking, they tell me something, hold up, what you mean you just talking? They say you was up there. They said, no, we just talking, right? So boom. So he said, all right, come on, let's go to the watch commander office. So they go to take me to the watch commander office. So I'm going to the watch commander office now, and he coming too. But I'm dead nervous because I got this Bethlehem on me. If they pat me down or just touch on me, if they can find it, I'm through. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to jail for that anyway. You see what I'm saying? And that's a serious charge. Just to have that on you, period, is a serious charge. So they take me to the watch commander office. He coming there with me. They take both of us in the office with just me, him, and the watch commander. So the watch commander is the captain. Now, the captain's asked straight up, what's going on? He started talking. He said, me and him had a dispute. We was just talking it out. It ain't no thing. He ain't threatened me. He ain't do none of that. He all right. We just had a dispute. It got a little loud. Person in the tower heard it. Excuse me. Person in the tower heard it. They looked down there. They thought it was more than what it was. Everything is okay. So he turned to me. He asked me what's going on, right? I said just what he said. Same thing he said. That's all it was. He said, so you mean to tell me that my officer called me and tell me he heard you down there cussing and threatening my officer, and he telling me it ain't nothing, and you telling me it ain't nothing. But I got an officer that telling me that he heard some threats, come out of your mouth. So who should I believe? I said, man, that's on you. That's on you. You believe what you want to believe. He just told you what he said. I'm telling you what I said. That's all it was. We had a misunderstanding about something. We said some things to each other about it, and that was it. I was going to go back to my building, and that was it. And then all the people came running around there. So he was saying, so you mean to tell me y'all ain't got no problem? I said, I don't have a problem. And the officer said, no, I ain't got no problem, man. He all right, just let him go, man. He good. It was just something we was talking about. It's good. He said, So if I let him go back to the building, then that's it. So I just supposed to ignore my other officer, that's it. So you telling me there ain't no problem. Ain't nothing that you want to say. Do you want him to leave up out of here? Ask me. And you can talk to me personally. I said, I ain't going to have nothing to say to you that I ain't said already. It ain't no problem, man. All I want to do is go back to my building. He looked at me for a second. He looked at his officer. And I think he was thinking more of the lines of dude because he probably already had a personal relationship with dude. Then he figured that he could talk to him later. But he just looked at me for a minute or two. He said, go ahead back to your building, man. He said, don't never let nobody call me and tell me nothing like this about you again, man. Never. I see all right. And I roll out. I'm walking down that boulevard, man, with the stanky leg, man. I'm scared as I don't know what, because I'm like, man, for these people not to pat me down and touch me was just amazing, because usually that's what they do. But I think they was in such a array of what was happening, and they got thrown off by what he said, that it won't nothing, that they didn't do that. Had they pat me down, I'm super late. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, if you look at the whole totality of the situation, I was super right. I was in the right position. I was standing for what I believed in. I was standing for what I know what was right. And he knew he was wrong, and it worked out for the best. You see what I'm saying? I went on back to the building. I don't know what type of conversation they ever had or whatever. But I know every time I ever seen him from that point on, he always just gave me a nod like, what's up or whatever. I just looked at him and kept on going. Never had a problem with him again. Every time he seen my people in the visiting room, he greeted them the way he was supposed to greet them, if he said anything at all. You know what I'm saying? But those be little situations like that would mess your whole bit up, because you'll be forced into a situation that you didn't ask for, a situation that you don't want to be in. And man, that happens more often than you can think of. Them little clown CEOs be in there, and they see a nice looking woman come in there, and they be saying in their mind, oh, why you need him? He locked up. I'm free. You free, but you ain't nobody, man. You ain't nobody. But that's how they think. That be their mind. I can't tell you over the years how many dudes done stepped the CO and even attacked them and hurt them and chopped them up or punched them in the face over them saying something to their woman in the visiting room or in the parking lot, or running into them somewhere on the street and remember, oh, that's such and such to go visit such and such, and try to push up on them. Man. And the women end up telling their man, and that dude come back to work and get punished. You know what I'm saying? Because they think they doing something slick. You know, oh, didn't I see you in the visiting room? Yeah, woo, woo, woo. Try to holler at them, man. It's sickening, man. Sickening. You out there on the street with all these females, and you trying to get a man that's locked up female. Come on, man. What type of man is you? What type of, you know what I'm saying? What type of character does a man have to even try that? And this your place of employment. Come on, man. But yeah, man, he almost got it, boy. He almost got it. And I know they would have crucified me, but so be it, you know. But man, yeah, that went on there, man. That kind of had me a little, you know, for a minute, man. But you know, I try to stay focused, man, get into my bit, man. More or less, I didn't have a whole lot of problems after that, you know, either with all of my problems really was coming from the COs on this compound after, you know what I'm saying, I had been there for over a year or something, because dudes knew who I was, dudes respected me, and even the younger ones that didn't know, somebody pulled them up and told them. So I ain't really had no whole lot of problems. My problem was coming from the COs with the smart mouths, the COs that was trying to, you know, belittle you and handle you. That's where all my problems came from, basically on this institution. You know, but I stayed out of the way, man. I started programming because I knew I had my first parole date was coming up soon. I started programming. I was in the graphic design class. I worked out. I cut hair. I went to visits. You know, I still was dibbling and dabbling in the foolishness. I had a store box. You know, the store box was jumping, but I ain't really had no problems because dudes was paying me. They knew where I was coming from. They knew I wanted to be played with. And the bit was going on, man, and I was basically out of trouble. I was more or less watching the drama. Dudes was getting hit up, stabbed, bust in the head. Dudes was running in their cell, double banking and triple banking dudes. All of that, you know, to me was disgusting. I ain't with that. If you a man, stand up on your own 2 feet. The gangs had started, you know, this was about the first time I started seeing the gangs, or start understanding what the gang was. Because when I first came into prison, there wasn't no such thing as gangs. There wasn't no Bloods and Crips or whatever. It might have been neighborhood or city versus city, but it wasn't no Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, MS-13. It wasn't none of that. But it was starting to trickle in then. I would hear a dude say he a Crip. I would hear a dude say he a Blood. I see them dudes congregated up together. So it was new to me. So this was me beginning to learn about that gang life too. But little did I know later on they would be just saturate the whole system. You know, they was everywhere within a couple of years. But at this time it was just starting out. So you had the gang fights, you know, you had the gang beefs. Dudes was going out on the yard, you know, making the moves on other dudes, pulling the Bethlehem out, chopping them up on the yard, you know, hoping they don't get shot, chop them up real fast and jump on the ground and put the knife out in front of you. It was just mayhem on that joint. But I was in my own zone because I was doing what I was doing. I was trying to be constructive. I was trying not to get caught in the little illegal activities that I was into. I was hanging with Munchie and Mom. We was doing our thing, man. And everything was good, man, for a minute. But like I tell you, it's never gonna be good in prison. And just like that, man, when I felt like I was all right, I liked the class, I was learning things. I was actually around a computer for a little while. I was learning stuff about art. I could never draw. I got in graphic designs on the strength of the parts about advertisement and stuff like that. So I was trying to learn about that, and I was learning. And like I say, I was basically trouble-free, minding my own business. And man, out of the blue, man, they just come and tell me my counselor wanted to see me. So I go see my counselor, whatnot, and she tell me that, man, they got you in for a transfer. They started this level prison there where you on this level. If you got this many points in this prison, if you got that many points, you got levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 6. And they said your level has dropped. So you could go back to a lower level prison there. This prison right here is this level. You go to the level that's beneath this. So this is a good thing. But in actuality, it was not a good thing for me, because when you in a prison and you in a comfort zone and you all right, when you know everybody there, the officers know you, so they know what they expect from you. The inmates know you, they know what they expect from you. You basically in the most comfortability that you're gonna be in. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to get uprooted and move and start this whole process over, you know? And she's telling me that this is what they're gonna do. So I'm like, well, do I got to accept the transfer? What if I want to stay here? They call that an override, get an override and just stay here. She said, why would you want to stay at a high level institution? I said, because I'm all right here. I got a job, I'm in class, I'm doing. She said, well, you probably can get in the same class at a lower level, and you most definitely can get your job back because you're a certified barber. I said, yeah, but I'm decent right here. It's close to my family. I get visits on a regular, whatever. She was like, well, I just don't think that's a good idea, especially since you get ready to come up for parole for your first time. And the lower level of prison you on and going up for parole will be better suited for you. Now, when she said that, that got my head to churning about a whole lot of different situations, because, you know, the ultimate goal is to go home. But if I knew what I know now, that I didn't even have a shot then. It was just a facade. It was just a name going up for parole, but they ain't had no intentions on giving it to me. I would have made a different decision. But being at that time, I was inexperienced, I was unknowing, and I was like, okay, all right, well, boom. And, you know, I went ahead on and accepted the transfer. So she said she was putting it in. And next thing you know, man, probably within a month, 2 months, they came and packed me up, man. Came and packed me up, told me I was leaving, I was getting transferred. I was going to a lower level prison. They didn't tell me which one I was going to. But I was like, man, I was just in such a decent spot. I had a decent celly. I'm in a decent spot. And everything was all right, man. Shout out T. White. T. White out there, Scrub Appeal. T. White was my celly at the time. And yeah, man, they came and packed me up. And like I said, a whole lot of other stuff happened on Sussex 2. This video right here, I kind of skipped through spots and stuff because I told y'all I said say this stuff out the top of my mind. I probably come back to Sussex 2, which I went back anyway, but I probably come back even to this video and fill in some of the spaces, fill in some of the blanks of other things that happened while I was on this institution. But I don't really, like I said, when I sit in here, I don't have a game plan of what to say. I just sit in here and start talking, believe it or not. And I never watch these videos before they even get edited and put out. I send them straight to Hollywood Trail. Even when I'm finished, I don't go back and watch and relook what I said. When they show the premiere, y'all see it, that's when I first see it. So, I know I missed a lot of stuff because stuff is popping up in my head now, but I want to wrap this up because I don't want to make it super long. But man, Sussex 2, it was an experience for me, man. It was a learning experience. It was a different type of prison because at the beginning, like I say, I'm first time dealing with them guns and dealing with these ultra aggressive officers and being where you feel like your back is against the wall because anything you do, you will be held super accountable for because they're going to shoot you, bro. And they're going to take you to court and give you a charge as if you did something to them. So it was crazy, man. It was another step in me learning about prison and learning about what I had to do and what I had to go through. And man, I was just glad that looking back now that I made it through that, man, without getting shot, without getting in a situation where I had to hurt somebody or end up being hurt, you know, that was irreparable. So man, it was a blessing, man. It was a blessing in that lesson, man, that I learned from being on that compound. And like I say, I ended up going back to that compound. We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, that first trip, oh yeah, it was an eye-opener. It was a real eye-opener, man. It let me know also too that no matter how much time you done, you can always learn something different on every institution that you go on because it's going to be different rules, different players, different people, different situations, and you're going to have to adapt to all of that if you trying to survive and if you trying to make it, to the finish line, man. So like I say, man, it's a blessing in every lesson, man. And the blessing is, man, it was a stepping stone for me and a learning experience for me instead of something that would derail me from getting to the ultimate goal of getting out. But for you young fellas out there, man, I hope y'all listening to these videos. I hope y'all taking out of it what you need to take out of it. Just look at the chaotic craziness that goes on in there on an everyday basis, man. And then take that and couple it with the fact that you are not around your loved ones, you are not around people that love you, you are not around people that have your best interests at heart, and you are around people that belittle you, degrade you, disrespect you, and you have to live like this every day of your life. Why would you ever want to put yourself in that position when you are actually out here in the free world? That's something you should ask yourself whenever somebody wants you to get involved in some foolishness, or whenever you get the thought in your mind that you might want to indulge in some foolishness. It is an end to no means, brother. Trust me. You don't want to end up in that pit of hell. And that's all it is in there, man. So hopefully y'all listening to this. Hopefully y'all getting something out of it. Y'all share these videos, like these videos, man. And spread this word, man, about this positive energy we got going on over here, man. We ain't preaching, we teaching. You understand? So big love to everybody out there who watch me. Big love to everybody who watch Pure Deliciousness over there where we cooking and whipping it up. Y'all come over there and get some good food. And big love to everybody who been riding with me from day one. Everybody who been riding with me since yesterday. Much love to y'all, man. Be safe, be smart, make good decisions out there, man. I'll see y'all in a minute, man. And y'all already know the count, man. Duck the hook. Boom!
The bacon special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.